Okay, I'm making a video of this, and I'm just going to try to get my tripod to be still here, which it's not doing. I have to hold it still with my hand, and that gives it still a little movement. But I want to do an experiment to show how, if the object of glass that I'm getting the shiny spot off of is still, and the camera is still, you can see the orb with all the color, but everything in it is still. When everything is conditioned to be still, you won't see much movement. I don't like to do videos like this because I like the movement, and everything moves. Even the atoms in a rock are in violent motion. It's more of an unnatural thing for something to be perfectly still. But I wanted to do this experiment again because someone asked me, had I done this, and it's been a long time. And I'm doing it right now. And you can see pretty much stillness, although my hand is holding the control of this tripod a little bit and moves just a tiny, tiny bit. But it is pretty much still. Now, I've done this once a long time ago, and there was movement, but it took about 10-15 minutes to even see that something in it had moved. And I'm moving it a little bit now because if I let go of the handle of this, because it's not tight enough, for some reason I can't seem to get it. I don't know what is wrong, but it's not holding it. But see, when you move it around, now it's completely messed up. When you move it around, you do get the movement. I will take it off the tripod, but that's how it does. Okay, now to look at this again. Tripods are a bother to me. I can't ever get them to work real good. Now, one reason this is also real still, even though I'm holding the camera, I'm not holding the glass object. When I hold the glass object, there's way more movement. And I will show you how that is. But for the moment, we'll look at it this way just for the experience of it. Because this is not how I usually have my glass object. I have it sitting on the desktop, and it is perfectly still. Camera is not, but the object that I'm filming is. And I'm going to go over this little group of marbles and find other shiny spots. I'm holding my camera pretty still here. Not perfectly still. But I'm discovering that there's different movement inside the orb when the object I'm filming is also very still. Now when I move the camera around, I can see it, and you see what I'm doing. I'm moving the camera around the still object of glass, and it's letting me see the terrain of what that orb is showing. But it has always been my conjecturing that this object is showing, by my moving it around, different things that are in the empty space. around the object. because this marble sort of mirrors back the spaces. Now and then I see this kind of almost invisible little part that comes in. You've seen it probably. I'll tell you when it comes in again. Like right there, you see that movement of something there? And I'm holding it pretty still, but there's this little invisible bubble-like thing, which I think is fits the description of the immortal cell, which they say in the book I read is like a almost invisible droplet of protoplasm. And that's why you can't see it too well, because it's almost invisible. Like a raindrop that is rolling down a glass window pane. Now, I'm going to pick up the glass object. And I'm going to hold it up so that the light shines on the other side of it more directly. And now you see, because I'm holding the glass, there's movement in it. So it's our movement, but then of course, light is something that responds to our movements, even the movements, I think, of our mind. Now I'm going to move it to the right a little bit. What I'm doing is I'm moving both camera and glass to be in another section where the light shines down around in this room. Because then I see a continuation of the pattern of which we're looking at in this one orb. And each of the orbs are different. Sometimes I see a little more activity in some than I do in others. And this is not the camera that captures Harry. I get him with my older camera, which was one reason that I thought that maybe he was debris caught in that old camera. A lot of times there's a mass of dark looking stuff, like right here. Now I'm moving glass and camera up higher. You know, in the double slit experiment, which they talk about quite a lot in physics, they want the observer to be out of the picture because the observer changes the conclusion that they reach is influenced by the thoughts of the observer. So we have to figure ourselves in on this. There's something that we either know or think that influences what we see, and maybe even what our camera sees. I'm not sure of that. That's just conjecturing on my part. Now there's a lot of activity of those little almost invisible droplets there. And I have made a playlist called The Immortal Cell, where I talk about this invisible drop of protoplasm. It is like the first cell. It is a perfect cell, and it informs all other cells. Because when environment changes, cells in different bodies of creatures have to change to fit in with their environment. And I think there's a master cell. And perhaps it's this little invisible thing that helps that cell change to endure its environment better. Conjecturing, I do that a lot. And if we really think about it, a lot that our scientists say are their theories, and theories is not something they've proven, it's something they think is very likely to be the truth, but it is a theory. We do a lot of thinking in theories. And who's to say whether one person's theory is better than another? Okay, there's something really dark in that one. And I can follow it. See, I go down and see that it kind of goes down a little further, that darkness. And now I'll go up and see if I can find the end of it there, where it's darker. Now it's getting lighter. But now I will go to another orb. Sometimes an orb right next to an orb that has run into some dark stuff, the orb right next to it will be full of things that aren't dark. Oh, but here comes the dark in this one. And it kind of turns red. And see, there's a wash, sort of like a wash of really brilliant yellow and rose-colored light and blue. There's a lot of it right in there. And I'm not moving around to see that. It's moving into the orb I'm looking at. Maybe it goes to the dark ones and lights them up. There's nothing wrong with the dark. Without the dark, you wouldn't have these beautiful colors. Always when I am processing my film on the computer, I have to take some of the light out in order to see clarity of the colors. The dark is a shadow that defines the light. Now, I think I will go to, that one. That one above it. Wow, a lot of dark in it. It looks like stuff. You know, it looks like a glob of something. But the color in these orbs, sometimes when I'm just viewing orbs with the naked eye, the colors fall out or fall into another orb. They are very kind of good at joining with and sharing their light with other orbs around them. Oh, this one has a lot of dark in it. I'm getting up so high that I'm just running into complete darkness there, but above that, there's some more light. That's the light itself. I don't want to get into that too much. But it is so interesting as you're exploring another world of light. And I don't know why others aren't doing this. I don't know even that everyone can get these pictures. And I don't say that to be bragging. I say that because there is one condition that I read about in a book that said until we can see our oneness with all others and we see everyone as God. You know, you see the Christ in every face. Don't think of other people as being separate from yourself. When you can do that, in this book it said, then you will be given a glimpse into the microscopic, subatomic zone of life. And I didn't know that I had completed doing that, because I do sometimes still get very angry at certain politicians. But I'm trying to see everybody as one. And, you know, it's my desire to. And now for a long time now, I've been able to film this kind of little zone of life. And it's a very, very fun and interesting thing to do. I mean, I'm in complete comfort. I'm sitting in my room, in my favorite chair, with just one light on in the room, which is my LED light. You have to keep most of the room dark, and when you're taking this film, use the part of your camera that says low light. You don't want much light to come in, because you're going to be filming the light of the LED light on the reflected part from off the glass marble. But you don't want your flash to be on at all, so go to a part of your camera that doesn't give you the flash. Too much light and you don't see anything. Now there's some people who get pictures of orbs because of their flash on their camera. Because the flash, especially in a night sky, will show up orbs. Sometimes they're water, and sometimes they're dust, but sometimes they're not. But if you want to get orbs, you really, really just want to get orbs with a digital camera. And to be sure that you will get them, go out on any... This is falling out of a marble fell out. Go out on any misty evening when it's dark outside and it's raining, just a little mist. And if you take pictures with your digital camera and use your flash, then you are sure to get orbs, but they will be water orbs, because almost everything mimics the orb. Water and dust and even bugs, if they're filmed close up, will look like an orb. When you get into the tiniest of things, and I think this is a very tiny, maybe even smaller than the Higgs boson, which they have spent billions, literally billions of dollars trying to collide atoms together and study the result. And they don't have any pretty pictures like I have of what results they get are just data. I don't know, but I think we should respect the atom and the photon and not force them to do anything, because they are conscious. They're an entity in their own rights, and it should be treated with respect. Well, I will end this video right now because I can't tell with this camera how many minutes I've used. And I can't go over 15 minutes or I can't get it on YouTube. So this is the Dove Lady, over and out for now.